Salutation, statistic supporters. This is A Stats MR, back with another presentation to sleep through. Today I will discuss some statistics related to language, specifically which languages are the most common, which language families are the most common, in what percent of the overall total speakers speak a certain language or language family. Now, before I get into the presentation, I want to make a few disclaimers. So, this is overall speakers, not first language speakers. So when you see the statistics related to English, that's including everyone that speaks English as a second or even third language. It's not necessarily primary English speakers. Secondly, the source of my data, Ethnologue, they have a free version that has the top 40 languages, and then they have another paid-for version that has all 200 plus languages. Right now we're a small operation, so we're going with the free version. Before I pay the money to get the full version, I'd have to be monetized, so that's a long ways away. So right now we're doing vids on a budget. We're working our way up. Alright, so now let's get into the data. Okay, so we're going to start with language families. And to give a little bit of background, so languages can be in a family, and families can have branches, and then branches can have the individual language. So for example, the language family Indo-European, you can have branches such as Germanic, Indo-Aryan, Romance, Balto-Slavic, and Iranian. All of those language branches fit into the Indo-European language family. And then individual languages, English, German, fit into the Germanic branch. Now again, this is only the top 40 languages, so like I said, I imagine you'd put in, French, or sorry, not French, Dutch, in the Germanic language branch. And then kind of the same thing with Romance. Romance branch, has Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese, and the Balto-Slavic has Russian, Polish, and again, if you had fewer than the top 40 or languages below the top 40, maybe throw in Estonian. But and then same thing, I kind of color-coded this, so the Sino-Tibetan family, see the different languages, so you have all the different versions of Chinese, such as Mandarin Chinese, Yue Chinese, Wu Chinese, Minnan Chinese, Jin Chinese, Hakka Chinese, and then Burmese. Now Burmese is a different branch, so you have the Sinitic language branch, which has the different versions of Chinese, and then you have the Tibeto-Burman branch, which is what Burmese belongs to. Okay. Let's see here. Austronesian language family that consists of Malayo-Polynesian, which Indonesian and Javanese belong to, the Central Philippine language branch, which is Tagalog. You also have the Afro-Asiatic language family, which Semitic and then Chadic belongs to. And you have the Niger-Congo language family, which the Atlantic Congo and the Bantu language branches belong to. Bantu is the Swahili language, belongs to the Bantu branch, and then the Yoruba and Lingala languages belong to the Atlantic Congo branch. Some of these only had one language in a language family, so the Austroasiatic language family had Vedic, which Vietnamese was a part of. The Turkic language family had Oghuz, as a language branch which Turkish was a part of. And then the English Creole had the Creole language branch, which Nigerian Pidgin was part of. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing some of these. And then you had the Great Dai, which is part of the Zhou-Neng Tai, which is Thai was part of. And then, so you had the Dravidian language family, which I think is southern India. Like I say, if anyone's more familiar, please correct me if that's wrong. But you have the southern, which is Tamil and Kannada, and then the south central, which is Telugu. So those are kind of the breakdowns of which branches belong to what family and which languages belong to what branch. And again, this is limited to the top 40. So, we look at statistics related to language families. 57.99% speak an Indo-European language. 18.6% speak a Sino-Tibetan. 7.17% speak an Afro-Asiatic. 4.43% speak an Austronesian. 3.12% speak a Dravidian. 1.99% speak a Niger-Congo. 1.59% speak Japonic. 1.53% speak an English Creole. 1.12% speak a Turkic. 1.08% speak an Austro-Asiatic. 1.03% speak a Koreanic. And 0.77% speak a Grey Tri. You see that in the graph over here. Now, you see, and again, some of this is total speakers. So, even though probably the Sino-Tibetan has the most primary speakers, when you count all the people that speak an Indo-European language as a second language, then that they come in at triple the amount of speakers. So, and then you see the big tail off here. Okay, now if we go over to the branch statistics. So, shows what percent of that branch are the total speakers. So this 1.5 billion over the 7.898 billion is 20%. Now the percent in column E is what percent of that family this specific branch takes up. So of the Indo-European language family, Germanic takes up 34.88%. The Indo-Aryan language branch takes up 31.61%, Romance 25.24%, Balto-Slavic 6.57%, and Iranian 1.7%. The same thing with the biggest contrast of percentages. So the Sinitic language branch takes up 97% of the Sino type of language family, and then the Tibeto-Burman takes up 2.93%. There's a similar concentration, so of the Afro-Asiatic language family, Semitic takes up 86.38%, and Chadic takes up 13.62%. Of the Austronesian language family, Malayo-Polynesian takes up 76.46%, and Central Philippine takes up 23.54%. More even distribution in the Dravidian language family. The Southern language branch takes up 61.11%. The South Central takes up 38.89%. And the most even split would be the Niger-Congo language family, with the Atlantic Congo taking up 54.61%, and the Bantu taking up 45.39%. That's the percentages for the language family. Now, as a percentage of total, Germanic has the highest number, have 20.09. Indo-Aryan comes second at 18.20. Sinitic third at 18.06. Romance fourth at 14.53. Semitic next at 6.19. Balto-Slavic is next at 3.78. Malayo-Polynesian follows that at 3.38. So the Nun branch, so Korean and Japanese weren't assigned a language branch in the source, which I'll link to. The source is in the middle log. So they weren't assigned, so that's why I put Nun. But essentially the Nun is Korean and Japanese. And the Southern takes up 1.9. The Creole takes up 1.53 of the total. South Central 1.21. The Oghuz 1.12. Atlantic Congo 1.09. The Vietic 1.08. Central Philippine 1.04. Iranian 0.98. Chadic 0.98. The Bantu 0.90. The Zhuang Dai 0.77, and then the smallest percentage was the Tibeto-Burman at 0.54. So it is interesting, the concentration of the language. And like I say, if you look at the different languages that are part of the family, how some are very concentrated, whereas the Indo-European, you have, Hindi, in India, and then Russian, Urdu, which I think that's Pakistan. I know, that could be wrong, but all these different languages over a vast area, two continents, whereas some of these are more concentrated, such as the Austronesian language family. I mean, Indonesia, Javanese, and Tagalog, those are all Southeast Asia. And Dravidian, that's mainly South India. And then, of course, the difference in the area contributes to the number of speakers. Obviously, there'd be a correlation. Like I said, I don't really have land mass as a correlation statistic, but anyway, let me look at the charts. Pie chart here. Now, this is some of total speakers by branch. Let's see, first three, it drops off to Romance, then a large drop off to after that. And so anyway, again, I'll link the source for the data. This is a Stats MR, hoping that your efforts have a positive correlation with results. So long.